They're not myths, they're not special effects. These are real giants caught on camera. From deep-sea monsters with glowing tentacles to fish bigger than pickup trucks, these creatures are so massive, so surreal, they'll make you question what else is hiding in the ocean. This isn't your average nature documentary. These are 15 massive sea creatures that will leave you stunned. There's no animal on Earth bigger than the blue whale, and that's not an exaggeration. Blue whales can grow up to 100 feet long and weigh as much as 280,000 pounds. Just to put that in perspective, that's longer than a basketball court and heavier than 20 elephants combined. But even among these ocean giants, one whale stood out. In the icy waters off the coast of Antarctica, whalers once recorded the largest blue whale ever found. It measured an unbelievable 108 feet in length, the absolute limit of how big a whale can physically get. According to Dr. Gene Putman from St. Louis University, a whale that size would likely face serious challenges like muscle fatigue and long recovery times after diving. In other words, getting any bigger might actually be dangerous for a blue whale. That's why scientists believe we may never see one that size again. A true ocean titan and a natural wonder that reminds us just how gigantic life can get beneath the waves. In the shadowy depths of the Pacific Ocean lives a creature as strange as it is enormous. The giant Pacific octopus is one of the largest and most mysterious cephalopods on Earth. Most of them grow to around 20 feet long and weigh up to 150 pounds, but some have reached truly monstrous proportions. The largest one ever recorded was a mind-blowing 30 feet in length and tipped the scales at nearly 600 pounds. That's about the size of a small car, but with 8 powerful arms covered in hundreds of suction cups strong enough to hold a grown human underwater. These octopuses live in cold, dark waters as deep as 6,000 feet, where they feed on crabs, shrimp, and fish. They are masters of camouflage, able to change color and texture to blend into their surroundings instantly. Despite their size, they are incredibly intelligent. They can solve puzzles, open jars, and even escape from enclosures by unscrewing lids or slipping through tiny gaps. This video shows one skillfully twisting open a jar to reach food inside, proving just how clever these creatures really are. It may not look like much at first glance, but this deep-sea escape artist is one of the ocean's true giants, both in size and in smarts. First glance, the siphonophore might look like a jellyfish or a floating ribbon, but it is actually something far stranger. This deep-sea creature is not just one animal, it is a colony of tiny, specialized organisms all working together as one. In April 2020, scientists exploring the deep waters off the coast of Australia made an extraordinary discovery. They found a spiraling, glowing siphonophore, estimated to be more than 390 feet long, making it the longest known animal on Earth. That is even longer than a blue whale. Though delicate in appearance, this creature is a predator. Its long, trailing body is lined with stinging cells that paralyze small fish and other prey drifting in the deep. It floats silently through the pitch-black ocean, glowing faintly in the dark, and looks more like something from science fiction than real life. What makes the siphonophore so unique is that each part of its body is actually a different clone, performing a separate task. Some parts are responsible for feeding, others for reproduction, and some help it move through the water. Together, they function like one coordinated being. It is a living chain of teamwork drifting silently through the unknown, and it is one of the strangest and most impressive animals ever discovered. It is not fast, it does not swim, and yet this sea creature is so massive, you can see it from space. In the waters off the Solomon Islands, researchers and filmmakers recently discovered one of the largest living organisms on Earth.
The largest single known piece of coral has been discovered by scientists on a research trip in the Southwest Pacific Ocean.
A single colossal coral colony, roughly the size of 2 basketball courts. Yes, you heard that right.
Well, researchers have discovered the world's largest coral colony off the Solomon Islands.
This enormous coral is not a reef made up of different colonies. It is one organism, made up of millions of tiny animals called polyps, all working together to grow slowly over time. The species is known as Pavona clavus, and scientists believe it may have been growing for centuries. Its size is extraordinary. Before this discovery, the largest known coral was located in American Samoa, measuring about 22 meters wide. But this new find dwarfs that, standing as a natural monument beneath the sea. Underwater photographers Manu and Felix, who were the first to lay eyes on it, described the moment as surreal. One of them even said, "When Napoleon was alive, this thing was here." It is a reminder of how much of the ocean remains unexplored. Marine scientists estimate we have only surveyed about 5% of Earth's underwater world. That means there may be even larger coral giants still hidden in the deep. When it comes to deep-sea showdowns, few rivalries are more intense than the one between the sperm whale and the giant squid. Both are massive, powerful creatures that thrive in the darkest parts of the ocean. Sperm whales are the largest toothed predators on the planet. They can grow over 50 feet long and weigh more than 40 tons, using their massive heads and strong jaws to dive deep in search of prey. Their favorite target: the elusive and equally enormous giant squid. One incredible piece of footage shows a group of sperm whales surfacing after a deep dive. One of them has the remains of a giant squid hanging from its mouth. As the camera gets closer, you can still see a squid tentacle wrapped tightly around the whale's jaw, as if the battle had only just ended. It is a rare and powerful sight. Giant squids are almost never seen in the wild, let alone in the middle of a life-or-death struggle. These deep-sea clashes are fierce, and judging by this moment, the sperm whale often comes out on top. Two giants fighting in the cold, black ocean, and one emerging as a victor. With a name like Goliath grouper, you already know this fish is not lightweight. Found in the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean, this underwater giant is one of the largest reef-dwelling fish in the world. Goliath groupers can grow up to 8 feet long and weigh more than 800 pounds. That is about the size of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle swimming through the reef. For most of the 20th century, fishermen prized the Goliath grouper for its size and meat. The demand was so high that by the 1990s the population had dropped drastically. That led to a fishing ban across the United States to help these incredible creatures recover. One of the largest ever caught weighed in at nearly 700 pounds, caught off the coast of Florida using Spanish mackerel as bait. It was just shy of the maximum size these groupers can reach. Today, seeing a Goliath grouper in the wild is a rare experience. They often lurk around shipwrecks or coral reefs, blending in with their surroundings. But when one moves, it is impossible to miss. Their wide mouths and thick bodies make them look more like underwater tanks than fish. The Goliath grouper is a living relic, powerful, protected, and still growing in the depths. Not be one of the slowest swimmers in the sea, but the Greenland shark is no less fascinating. With its ghostly eyes, rough skin, and ancient appearance, this deep-sea predator looks like something out of a prehistoric nightmare. Greenland sharks are among the largest sharks in the world, reaching lengths of up to 21 feet and weighing more than 2,000 pounds. That alone is impressive, but their size is only part of the story. What truly sets them apart is their age. These sharks are believed to be the longest living vertebrates on the planet. Scientists have estimated that some Greenland sharks can live between 250 to 500 years. That means there could be sharks swimming in the Arctic today that were born before the invention of the light bulb, or even before the United States became a country. They are apex predators, feeding on fish, seals, and whatever else they can find in the cold, deep waters of the North Atlantic. They typically live between 600 and 3,000 feet below the surface, making them incredibly difficult to study and rarely seen by humans. A recent video captured one slowly gliding through the dark waters, and it is both eerie and mesmerizing. Seeing a living creature that may have outlived entire civilizations is a reminder of how little we truly know about the deep sea. It looks like a swimming pancake with fins, but the ocean sunfish is one of the most fascinating and oddly shaped animals in the sea. Also known as the mola mola, this strange-looking fish holds the title of the world's largest bony fish. Fully grown, it can weigh up to 5,000 pounds and measure over 10 feet long from fin to fin. That is heavier than a full-size pickup truck, and it swims around the ocean looking like a giant floating disc. Ocean sunfish are found in warm waters around the world, often drifting just below the surface. They feed mainly on jellyfish, squid, and small fish, and they sometimes rise to the surface to bask in the sun, which is how they got their name. What really makes the sunfish stand out is its unusual shape. It has a flattened oval body with long vertical fins sticking out of the top and bottom. It has no tail in the traditional sense, and it moves with a slow, flapping motion that looks more like hovering than swimming. Despite its odd appearance, the ocean sunfish is a gentle giant, completely harmless to humans. Spotting one in the wild is rare, and when it happens, it is always unforgettable. Now imagine placing a bet to finish a full-sized sunfish in 2 minutes. Would you win or lose? Let us know in the comments. A ghost in the darkest parts of the ocean, the Stygiomedusa gigantea, or giant phantom jelly, is one of the most elusive deep-sea creatures ever recorded. With a bell that can span more than 3 feet wide and arms that stretch up to 30 feet long, this jellyfish glides silently through the deep sea like a living shadow. Unlike most jellyfish, its long ribbon-like arms do not sting. No one is quite sure how it captures its prey, but some scientists believe those flowing arms may entangle or wrap around its victims like a slow-moving trap. Very few people have ever seen one alive. In fact, this species has only been observed a handful of times since it was first discovered over 100 years ago. Most encounters come from deep-sea submersibles, where the jelly appears suddenly out of the black, drifting in silence like something from another world. A researcher who saw one described it as completely surreal, a creature full of stranger things than most people can even imagine. The giant phantom jelly is a reminder that the deep sea